Venus has been called Earth's evil twin because it is very similar to our planet in size and mass, but also has some very scary differences. Is Venus really the evil twin of the Earth? How do we know that? And how did scientists come to that conclusion? In this episode, we are going to talk about all these questions and more. Let's start with a summary of what we know so far about Venus. Venus is the second planet from the Sun, and the first thing that strikes anyone who looks at Venus is how bright it shines in the sky. It is the brightest speck apart from the Sun and the Moon, shining at an average apparent magnitude of -4.4. Even the unaided eye can easily distinguish it as a speck in the morning or evening sky. Because of its brightness, many cultures associate it with love and beauty. The Romans identified it as the goddess of love and beauty, hence the name Venus. It is very close in size to the Earth. Its diameter is only 6,380 kilometers compared to Earth's 12,700 kilometers. So it is only 90% of the Earth's diameter. The mass of Venus is also 80% of the Earth's mass. Venus ranks 6th in terms of mass among the planets in the solar system. Despite having such a small size, Venus is the hottest planet in the solar system. On the surface, the atmospheric pressure is 92 times higher than the Earth's pressure. The atmosphere of Venus is mainly composed of carbon dioxide, 96.5%, while nitrogen makes up the remaining 3.5%. Scientists believe that Venus was once very similar to the Earth with oceans of liquid water on the surface. However, something happened that caused the drastic change in the climate of the planet and turned it into a hellish world. Now the temperature on Venus reaches 370 degrees Celsius, and the clouds consist of sulfuric acid. Let's go back to the question, why do they call Venus Earth's evil twin? As mentioned earlier, Venus and Earth are similar in size and mass. According to some scientists, if Venus had an ocean like Earth, it could have been habitable for life. Moreover, scientists think that life on Venus might have developed along different lines from that on Earth. In addition to the fact that both planets are very similar, there is another similarity between them. Both planets rotate on their axes in a retrograde motion. That is, they rotate from east to west, unlike most planets in the solar system. The rotation of Mercury and Pluto is also retrograde. Scientists say that Venus and Earth are similar in density, gravity, structure, and even the chemical composition of the atmosphere. These similarities have led some scientists to conclude that Venus is the Earth's twin. Perhaps the main reason why scientists call Venus an evil twin is the similarity between the two planets. If Venus had an ocean, it could be similar to the Earth. However, Venus is not the only planet that is similar to the Earth. There are other exoplanets that are much closer to the ideal planet for life. This raises the question, was Venus really the Earth's twin? Some scientists say yes, and others say no. Those who say yes base their theory on the fact that the Earth and Venus have almost the same mass and radius. But those who say no disagree with the fact that the conditions on Venus and Earth could ever be similar. The difference in temperature is huge, not to mention the thick layer of carbon dioxide and sulfuric acid. Furthermore, the day-night cycle on Venus is longer than on Earth by several days. A Venusian day lasts for 243 Earth days, while a night lasts for 110 days. Also, a year on Venus is 225 Earth days long. How did scientists find out that Venus is Earth's twin? What are the proofs? We assume that the conditions on Venus were once similar to those on Earth. However, the runaway greenhouse effect dramatically changed the environment on the planet. Today, this effect continues to turn Venus into a hellish world. When the planet was young, the amount of carbon dioxide in its atmosphere was probably much less than it is now. Most likely, the gas was kept in rocks or dissolved in the oceans. The young Venus was then covered with liquid water. With the help of volcanic activity, carbon dioxide was released into the atmosphere, which retained heat due to the proximity of Venus to the Sun. The increase in temperature led to the emergence of rain. Water vapor returned to the atmosphere with the flow of lava from volcanoes, thereby increasing the amount of carbon dioxide and gradually turning Venus into a hellish world. How did scientists manage to learn all this? The first spacecraft to fly by Venus was Mariner 5 in 1967. It found that the atmosphere of the planet consists mainly of carbon dioxide and that the temperature on the planet reaches 250 degrees Celsius. In December 1968, Mariner 8 reached Venus and managed to take the first pictures of the planet's surface through the holes in the clouds. These images showed a dry, scorched landscape without a trace of water. In the 1970s, several space probes explored Venus in more detail. Venera 9 and 10 took the first beautiful color photographs of the Venusian landscape. They discovered a yellowish sky above the rugged terrain. Venera 9 snapped a mysterious object that looked like a mushroom, although scientists never figured out what it was. Venera 11 and 12 sent the first close-up color photos of Venus to Earth. They made it clear that the surface of Venus is dry and resembles cracked concrete. The first measurements of atmospheric pressure showed that it is 21 times higher than the Earth's norm. In 1985, the Soviet Union launched the Vega probes to study Venus. They collected data that suggested that Venus had been in its current state for at least 500 million years. Vega 1 and 2 also dropped balloons into the atmosphere. They were designed to last 5 minutes, but one of them stayed afloat for 53 minutes. This gave scientists some valuable data on wind speeds and atmospheric composition. The Magellan spacecraft was launched in 1990 to map the surface of Venus. Over the course of its work, it created a three-dimensional map of the planet's surface. Today, scientists continue to study Venus. One of the latest missions is NASA's DAVINCI+, scheduled for launch in 2029. It will study the origin, evolution, and present state of Venus. How does Venus affect us? Venus is sometimes called Earth is evil twin because it shows us what would happen to our planet if we didn't take care of it. Global warming threatens to make our world more like Venus, but it won't turn Earth into a fiery hellhole unless we keep pumping carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Nevertheless, studying Venus helps us better understand how global warming affects our planet. In addition, by studying Venus, we can learn more about the history of the formation of the solar system. If Venus were Earth's twin, it means that both planets formed in the same place from the same material. Studying Venus can help us determine where and when our planet formed. Moreover, examining Venus helps us search for extraterrestrial life. Although Venus is very hot, its subsurface layers may contain the remnants of ancient oceans. These remnants could theoretically contain microorganisms. What's interesting is that the first galaxies that modern telescopes can see are also called twins. These are not really twins, of course, but paired galaxies that interact with each other. You can see them with your own eyes. These galaxies are called Antares, and they are located 200 million light-years away from Earth. Moreover, the first exoplanet discovered outside the solar system was also called a twin. It is called HD 189733b, and it is twice the size of Jupiter and orbits a star similar to our Sun. This exoplanet is 63 light-years away from Earth. And here is a fun fact. Venus is often called Earth's twin, but many astronomers consider Mars to be its twin. Mars and Venus are similar in mass, density, and even the chemical composition of their atmospheres. However, the similarities between them end there. What do you think? Is Venus really Earth's evil twin? Write your thoughts in the comments below. Like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more videos about space. Until next time.